या ब्रह्माच्युतिशङ्करा प्रभृतिभिर्देवैः सदा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निःशेषजाड्यापः शुक्लां ब्रह्मविचारसार परमाम् आद्यां जगद्व्यापिनीं वीणापुस्तकधारिणीं भजतां जाड्यन्धकारापहां हस्ते स्फाटिकमालिकां विदधतीं पद्मासने संस्थितां वन्दे तां परमेश्वरीं भगवतीं बुद्धिप्रदां शारदां बुद्धिप्रदां शारदां बुद्धिप्रदां शारदाम्
I will request the listeners to please join us on the stage. Now I would like to call Professor Pancharamalingam, UGC, HRDC, Pondicherry University, President, APSPA and INSPA on stage for the presidential address. Please welcome him with a huge round of applause.
Good morning to each one of you present over here. Most esteemed Professor T. Mangaleswaran, Vavuniya University, Sri Lanka, and most respected Professor Tarolia from Kurukshetra University, and most honored delegates and student delegates of this 4th Asia Pacific School Psychology Conference. One thing we have to remember and take it up, time is very important. We have to keep the timing in our hands. Not that, whenever we can start. That's why we used to say, in India, your program starts by 10 o'clock means, we may not know at what time it will start. We may be expecting the chief guest to arrive. That's why we used to say, in India, if you are putting an invitation, the program starts at 10 o'clock in the sense. What it means, we never know at what time it will start. But this we will not allow in any case. You are saying 10 o'clock you have to start. Otherwise you are wasting all the delegates, those who are sitting on the dais. That's why I requested the organizing team, you can start on time. Let the VIPs come, then we will light up the we will have the anthem, everything will take it up afterwards. But the program has to start on time. Well friends, we are very fortunate to have our Asia Pacific School Psychology Conference as first time in India. This was started on 11th January 2019 in Malaysia. To start this Asia Pacific School Psychology Association, our Indian School Psychology Association was the base. This Indian School Psychology Association was started on 15 September 2009. When we had our first conference in Jodhpur, then followed by now 12th conference was held in Pondicherry University, and the next conference in November at Science and Technology University of Meghalaya, Shillong. This was coincidence. Entire responsibility taken out by Professor Vishwanand Yadav to organize this conference. This APSPA conference is a small conference. We will not mean for the numbers. Even with the 10 people will organize the conference. But the first conference held in Sri Lanka way back in 2020 at National Institute of Education, Colombo. The Sri Lankan government was able to fully support that conference. Now, from Sri Lanka, our most esteemed Vice Chancellor is here. He is going to organize next conference in Vavuniya University. That's why to witness how our team is organizing the conference all the way from there is here. His flight was rescheduled for 3-4 occasions. Even then he made it a point to come over here. Otherwise, normally Vice Chancellor, what they will simply say, no, whatever you have booked today, my flight was cancelled, I am cancelling my trip. I will meet you next time. But he never bothered. He travelled night around 4 a.m. he has reached this campus. Now you can imagine what is the commitment on the part of the academics. When Professor Mangaleswaran was agreed to come for the India, then we thought, we will invite Honorable Minister for Education for this particular conference. They also readily accepted. Due to this Parliament sessions are on, they may not be able to make it. But he deputed a Cabinet Secretary, Dr. V.K. Murthy, to come and attend at least one day. He is coming here by evening. Tomorrow morning he is going to address. We are having two important models, especially for the school children. Now we may be around 200, 300 delegates are here. Simultaneously 700 students and teachers are attending in another campus. The program has already been started by 9:30. There, parallelly it is happening. To whom we are going to address, to whom we are going to take care, that the experimental ground is taking place in another campus. Here, this campus we are going to introduce two novel experiments. One is from USA, our Sri Vijay Sharadi. He has brought out a nice assessment model, open online access. This is entirely free for the children. Yes, constructed, evaluated. Now he is going to experiment in this conference. Then slowly he is in a position to give it to the student community across the country on free of cost. In the same way, what are all the threats our school children are facing? For that, another team from Australia, they have worked out that experiment tomorrow by 10:30. They will join virtually. The Indian counterpart from the ministry side, they will be presenting physically. They can experiment and give it to the school children. These two important aspects are we are taking it for this particular conference. most importantly, last year we thought of organizing offline conference at the Assumption University of Thailand, Bangkok. Professor Parvati Verma is here. We are setting everything to organize the conference on a physical mode, but due to this COVID visa issues, we have organized the conference online. Very successful. That what are all the papers selected that has been compiled, and now we are going to release it in this particular conference. This is for the conference activity. This is for the third conference. Apart from the conference, we are having inter-country collaborations. Before COVID, our Honorable Prime Minister of India visited Japan. He visited the schools. Then our Asia Pacific School Psychology Association members represented Honorable Prime Minister of India as well as the Prime Minister of Japan, that we are having collaboration with the Indian School Psychology Association. We are having our classroom model to India, then we are bringing Indian classrooms to Japan. Then both the Prime Minister immediately announced in the press conference, whatever is you are saying it is good for Japan, you give it to India. Whatever good in India, you can bring it to Japan. In that collaboration, for the past 3 years, we are having continuous workshops in India, especially Puducherry, Bangalore, Chennai, Delhi, then Kolkata. We have conducted several such activities under the leadership of Professor Ishika Michikova. Based on these experiments, they brought out 12 articles that we compiled in the form of book. Today we are going to release. When our Indian School Psychology Association thought of unifying these activities, what school psychology is, how we teachers and researchers can take it further, we announced a chapter writing for the handbook of school psychology. Around 63 people have contributed. Then we thought what are all very much relevant to the Indian situation, we put it in a compiled form as Handbook of School Psychology, compiled by Professor Jaishankar Reddy from Christ University, Bangalore. That also now we are going to release. During this COVID, we may not be able to move around. 2 years we are sitting at home, contacting people through online. We discussed, then we thought this is the best possible way to make use of our expertise to bring out a textbook on school psychology. I have written a book on school psychology in the Indian context. Our colleagues from all over the country, they have ventured to translate into different languages. 21 languages they have agreed upon. The process was started. Within a year, we are able to release 14 languages at Pondicherry University. Today, we are going to release Kongani language translated by Professor Janet Fernandez from Goa. Apart from our Indian languages, our Asia Pacific region, now Sri Lanka, Sinhalese translation is on. Nepali is on. In Malaysia, Malay language is on. In Japan, Japanese is on. Now with the help of our Dr. Goyal, Dr. Goyal, who is our event manager for the Indian chapter. Whatever you are seeing, your badge, your logo, your medal, your memento, your abstract, your certificate, the entire responsibility, shouldered by Dr. Fashion Goyer. He is 70 plus. You may not imagine he will run like a 20 plus. No? 264 pages abstract. Now we have sent it to him on holy holiday. Within 2 days he was able to manage and print it. Again, our expectation is only for 100 abstract for this conference. We are not very ambitious. You have to come 500 people for this conference. Our expectation is only for 100. But we have received 272 abstracts. Apart from that, 24 invited talks, keynote addresses, special addresses. These are all given a strength to us how we can move forward. You are all very much aware where we are when these sustainable development goals have been introduced. Even after 8 years, we are rethinking what has happened. Another 7 years, what we are going to do. These are all sophisticated terminologies, not for us, it is for the Westerners. They will talk, they will experiment, they will move ahead. We approached UNESCO. Then they said, in India, we are going to introduce, we are going to launch it. What are all the goals you are taking it up? We said, we are not much interested on all your 17 goals. We will take it up only for 4 goals, out of which we will emphasize on goal number 4 for education. They are very much impressed. Our international collaborators from Austria, Iran, 2 of our delegates are already here. Then UK, Germany, Switzerland, United States, Canada. These are all the people joining online. Why they are joining online? We don't have sufficient fund. We may not be able to accommodate. You may not believe, Sarangaya is traveling 35 kilometers away. His stay was arranged there. Our stay was arranged 8 kilometers away. We may not know, we are thinking that all of them staying in one campus. When morning I am phoning people, they are telling, no sir, we are 35 kilometers away, 25 kilometers away because constraints. We don't have nearby accommodation. But even then, we made it a point to have this conference. This is a self-sustained conference. Not that we are having lot of funds to organize this conference. Again, friends, this is the higher level talk. When you are saying sustainable development goals, universities and colleges are talking. But we are emphasizing, it is more relevant to the schools. When we invited papers and abstracts, we found one paper that they are experimenting in schools. They tried out. Sir, welcome. Dr. L. Krishnan from Malaysia. He is the director. Then Consti Professor T. Marimuthu from Malaysia. T. Kanesan, CEO, Secretary, Malaysian School Psychology Association. T. Kunapati Arumugam, Parenting Trainer from Malaysia. Professor B.S.R. Vijay Kumar from Chennai. Then Colonel Ashraf from Bangladesh. Professor, please sir, welcome. These are all not for the certificate, not for the sightseeing coming to the conferences. They are all committed people, wherever we are organizing, we are experiencing what is this cultural differences. May I request our Professor T. Marimutu to come out to the dais. Please. Hopefully, another 10 minutes, the formal session will commence. During these sessions, we have designed 8 concurrent scientific sessions. Each session we will get a Best Paper Award, named after Professor G.P. Thakur Best Paper Award. That the certificate has been signed by the UGC Joint Secretary, Dr. Archana Thakur. Now you can imagine the value of the certificate. Among these 272 abstracts and submitted papers, we have analyzed and found 2 papers are more relevant and very much befitting to our request, and we thought we can honor them during the inaugural session with Tun S. Samivelu Best Paper Award to Mr. Anthony Fernandez from Military Academy, Pune. He is here. Yeah. Anthony. Then Dr. N. Sudha, Principal, Sairam Vidyalayam, Secretary. We brought out how these sustainable development goals can be implemented in the schools. We brought out the charts for 300 schools. Then also she is having the chart how we can lay the path that we are going to experience while she is presenting. In that way, who are all very active, you can very well collaborate. When we organize a workshop for the counselors and budding psychologists in Bangladesh, University of Dhaka, Professor D. Dattarai was there to train them. So, what are all the intricacies, how the professional school psychologist can have. Now, around 300 school psychologists, budding school psychologists in Bangladesh. The former Vice Chancellor, Professor Akbaruddin Agamed, is requesting us, why don't you try to organize our next conference in Bangladesh. But fortunately, we already fixed the next conference relating to school psychology and the G20 in Mauritius from 23rd to 29th September 2023. Most probably next year we can plan it to Bangladesh. Again, the Japan counterpart, they are also willing to organize our conference. Now our Dr. Narendra Singh Kahuna from Nepal is coming. He is the secretary for the Nepal chapter. Very active person is translating the book in Nepal. Nepalese, hopefully in the next conference it will be released. In this particular conference, when you receive your book of abstract, you will come to know what are all the concurrent sections and what are all the hybrid sections, and we have some 4 plenary sessions, and meeting with the children and teachers. Those who are really interested, if you are doing some research activity, you are all having the freedom of meeting the school children and teachers afternoon, after the lunch. We are allowing 2 hours to interact with the school children and school teachers in another campus. In such a way, this is an humble beginning in India. Support of Indian School Psychology Association. We are strong in 11 countries, especially in the Asia Pacific region. In the same way, now we are having 180 life members in the organization. Professor Navratan Sharma from MD University Rohtak, when we launched this organization, immediately he has registered with the 4 life members for this organization. Each country is having the base for the School Psychology Association. In India, Indian School Psychology Association is taking care of it. Now, 1,308 members are there in the APSPA, Indian School Psychology Association. You no need to pay money, no need to ask anybody for your receipt, certificate, your ID card. Entire thing processed in such a way through website. If you pay money, you will receive your certificate. Only in between we will cross check whether your data is correct or not. In that way, this is a professional organization open to all. Those who are willing to collaborate, you can collaborate what are the ways and means possible. We are having UGC care-listed journal, INSPA, applied Professor V.S.R. Vijay Kumar and Professor T. Satyanam from Chennai. Professor Vijay Kumar is a trainer of trainers. Today we are going to give validation for one particular tool, how it is effective for the school children. Under this leadership of our Professor V.S.R. Vijay Kumar, we are able to succeed at that particular project. He was capable of mesmerizing the children using the memory technique. He is going to have the session with the children and teachers immediately after their lunch. Professor T. Satyanam, who is a specialist on LD, learning disabilities. He can give simple tips how you can identify the kids in the schools, those who are having learning disabilities. Then how we counselors and professionals bringing them in the fold of inclusiveness, that he will highlight to you. These are all separate plenary sessions. When time permits, you can enjoy these sessions. Hopefully, this conference will throw light on your expectations. We will assure you, this is a journey started from Mahendra. All the credit goes to Professor Tanveer Singh Kumar, the esteemed Vice Chancellor, Central University of Haryana. You may not know how busy he is. For the past 3 days, their second cycle assessment is taking place in this university by NAC. We didn't know that. 1 year back, we have scheduled the date. 2 weeks back, Professor Vishwanand is asking, "Sir, can you postpone the conference?" I said, instead we can cancel to your university. This conference will held on the same day in India, but we will cancel to Mahendra. Are you getting the point? Date will not be changed. Conference will happen in some other place. Oh, is it so, sir? Where will have it? No, we have identified the university in Delhi. They are ready to take it up. 32 international scholars have already been booked the tickets. How can we change the date? Then he convinced the Vice Chancellor. He also agreed, yes, parallelly let it go. Today, they are concluding meeting for the NAT. He also agreed to us to come and address the inaugural session. Well, friends, with this, we can start the formal inauguration of the 4th Asia Pacific International Conference. Thank you very much. Please, like the tutorial, you can start.
We are just waiting for the respected Vice Chancellor to arrive, as we also simultaneously have the NAP team visiting, so we'll wait for a little while to continue the same. Till then, I would request sir to please invite the dignitaries on the stage.
Well, friends, wherever we go, we need a local support. Professor Tarolia is my teacher. I did a master's in education in Gurkha University. Now I request him to give the special address. Please, sir. Where's the time? When DC comes, we can come.
Good morning, all of you. Thank you, Professor Ramayanu. As you have already been informed that university officials, particularly Vice Chancellor, Pro-Vice Chancellor, and organizers of the conference are busy with deliberation of NAC team, and we have to wait for them for a few minutes. So I have been thus assigned humble duty to welcome you all here. So I extend a hearty welcome to all the participants, renowned behavioral social scientists coming from various countries, and welcome you to this land of Haryana. Thank you.
We have our Vice Chancellor, sir, soon joining us. So we'll start in a while. He's right downstairs and he's coming upstairs in a while. So I'll announce it and we may rise when we would like to welcome. Thank you. participants who have already visited the registration desk might have already got the ID card for the conference. Those who have not visited are requested to visit the registration desk after this session. Thank you. Now handing the mic to Ms. Ritika and Ms. Manju to take proceedings further. Thank you.
Every sunset is an opportunity to reset. Every sunrise begins with a new eye. Starting the event with such a dose of positivity. Respected chief guests, delegates, faculties, research scholars, students, a very good morning to one and all.
Smile is universal welcome. And with beautiful smile, let's welcome the guests. I am Manju Fogart, and it gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all on the behalf of Department of Psychology, Central University of Haryana, which clubs all of us in association with Asia Pacific School Psychology Association Malaysia, APSPA, and Indian School Psychology Association, INSPA, for the 4th APSPA International Conference on Sustainable Development Goals, with specific reference to school psychology in Asia Pacific region on 15th and 16th March.
To make this morning a blessed one, evoke Goddess Saraswati by kindling the lamp of knowledge and wisdom. For seeking the choicest blessing for the same, I invite all the dignitaries to please lightning of the lamp. Now, I request everyone to please stand up for University Full Game.
शिक्षा दीक्षा की परंपरा से राष्ट्र का हुआ सदा कौशल और सृजन से सजा हुआ गौरव अभियान, सजा हुआ गौरव अभियान। ज्ञान विज्ञान की शक्ति से हम मंडल के हुए साबित, सीखा है इतिहास से हमने नव तकनीकों में हुए सम्मानित, नव तकनीकों में हुए सम्मानित। सनमसागे हमारा बड़ी सनसनी, संस्कारों की शक्ति को जग लिया है युवा ने पहचान। हम सब बने राष्ट्र के रक्षक, आओ करें भारत निर्माण, आओ करें भारत निर्माण। कला योग विज्ञान विश्वविद्यालय देता ज्ञान, अनुमत और जीवन स्वच्छता का देता है यह शुभ वरदान। जन्म लेकर जिसने बड़ा पर शौर्य करता शीश बलिदान, अपनी मेहनत से माटी को सोना करके जहाँ किसान। धरती पर हरियाणा पर स्थापित अपना कुर्बान। शिक्षा और स्वावलंबन और ऐसे कुल को करे प्रणाम, ऐसे कुल को करे प्रणाम, ऐसे करे प्रणाम, ऐसे कुल को करे प्रणाम।
Thank you very much. Please take your seat. With the blessing of Ma Saraswati and University Full Gate, we would like to move forward.
Now, I would like to invite Dr. Pradeep Kumar, Organizing Secretary of 4th APSPA International Conference, to put forward welcome address and the scope. Welcome.
Good morning to all dignitaries on the dais and delegates who are participating from various national and international regions through online and offline. On behalf of the Department of Psychology, Central University of Haryana and Asia Pacific School Psychology Association and Indian School Psychology Association, I heartily welcome each and everyone. It gives me immense pleasure to announce that the 4th APSPA International Conference is being inaugurated by Department of Psychology, Central University of Haryana in association with APSPA and INSPA on the most important and central theme, that is Sustainable Development Goals, with special reference to school psychology in Asia Pacific region. All over the world, the governments are making efforts to ensure the implementation of UN Sustainable Development Goals, as well as they are facing the challenges. And these challenges are, the greatest challenge is that how human beings can coordinate to save our planet, and how teachers across the various levels of academia are one of the critical bridges with communities, societies and nations. And how is the teaching community juxtaposing itself to the ideals and achievements of the Sustainable Development Goals? And for this, educationists are trained to mediate at the individual and system levels and develops and implement, evaluate programs to endorse constructive learning environments for children and youth from various backgrounds, and to ensure equal access to effective educational and psychological services that promote holistic development. But in modern scenario, challenges for students, teachers and parents seem more problematic and tough and requires special training to create environment conducive to learning. And we know education is not about simply loading a child with more information. It is just to develop the body and mind to the highest possible capability. And recently in India, the new education policy 2020 is announced after 34 years, has taken many steps in this positive direction, and it is expected to transform the education system. And I hope this conference will focus on the teachers and their contribution to the Sustainable Development Goals and how can pass on the thought processes to the learners and use this support mechanism to ensure these Sustainable Development Goals. In this conference, across the world, psychologists and researchers are assembled to share their precious thoughts, and we anticipate conference will play a crucial role to provide the opportunities for better learning environment in society. Almost 600 delegates are participating in the conference. Simultaneously, workshop for teachers and assembly for school children is going on at different venues in Narnaul. International delegates from USA, Malaysia, Japan, Iran, Sri Lanka, Nepal, Bangladesh and Thailand are the part of this conference. And with these words, I would like to express my sincere thanks for one and all present here and hope for the grand success of this conference. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
We're honored to have our respected Vice Chancellor Sir here amongst us. I would request Professor B.N. Yadav to please welcome our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Nankeshwar Kumar Sir. So please.
करो भाई पहले एक बार आपको थोड़ा सा नेक में जाना है ना अरे कुछ नहीं होता
We know the humility of Sir, but as we have a paucity of time, we would first like to welcome Sir.
Ma'am, bring that book. Ma'am, bring the book. Yeah, now we have to give.
We would also be releasing the book of abstracts in presence of our respected Vice Chancellor, Sir.
ये बुक ऑफ एब्स्ट्रैक्ट नहीं
Sir is leaving.
So we are releasing some of the books which we'll be naming shortly, and we are releasing the book of abstracts at the same time.
Kongani language. Kongani, Kongani.
We are releasing the book in Konkani language also.
Yeah. Professor Janet Fernandez, please come over and listen to us.
Now we put our hands together for the book release of abstract for the conference.
Ma'am, one more copy. Ma'am. All right, Council is declare opening the book of abstract. You request Professor Rangaya and please come and receive the copy from us.
I would request our respected Vice Chancellor sir to please give a copy of the book of abstracts to
Dr.
Sir
Goyal,
Mr. Goyal.
Okay, done.
Dr. Goyal, who is the given manager for India. Now our Vice Chancellor will release the Kongani version of the Indian School Psychology book. May I request Professor Janet Fernandez from Goa University to this is the copy. Please, sir.
Please.
You are the chancellor.
No, change your position.
Translation is a big
So
job,
Janet.
you know.
Okay. Okay. Okay then.
I would request Professor.
1 minute if you wanted to accommodate.
So we have Professor Janet.
Janet Fernandez.
Janet Prakash to share a few words with us.
I'm truly elated today because Goa is on the map of international brand today. And yes, a big thank you to the APSPA family for giving me this opportunity to shoulder the responsibility of translation of the book. The author of the book, Indian Psychology, School Psychology in the Indian Context, the author of the book is our very own loving president of APSPA, Dr. Punch, and we were very happy to translate the book because we saw this book as a big resource for our teachers in Goa, and especially if we translate it in our local language, that is Konkani, it would be of a very great value to all the teachers in Goa who can incorporate the principles of psychology for the purpose of achieving holistic development of young children under their care. So we have taken up this responsibility, and I am very happy to say that the translator of the book, Michael Gracious, has sent all of us his warm greetings. He could not be here today, but he said he is very, very happy to translate the book for us. I also thank him in abundance for taking up this job. I also thank the editor of the book, Father Ave Maria Afonso. He is always a busy man, but he has made it a point to go through every page of the book, identify any mistakes if there are, and all of us know that translation and edition of the book is not anything simple. And it took them almost 6 months to translate the book, and we have been working on the book for almost a year. So I thank them from the bottom of the heart, and I feel very happy to contribute to the APSPA family by translating this very book, which is very, very dear to our heart, authored by our very own President, Dr. Punch, who requires a big round of applause from all of us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. I would now request our respected Vice Chancellor, Sir, Professor Tankeshwar Kumar, to please motivate us all with a few words. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. First of all, I congratulate the Department of Psychology and obviously colleagues of the department to organize such an event at the Central University of Haryana. Secondly, I welcome all the participants, those who are participating in this conference. And this is the 4th APSPA International Conference. So I congratulate and welcome all of them to the Central University of Haryana. We have many experts in this conference. At present, we have on the stage Professor Panch Ramlingamji, Professor T. Mangleswar, and Professor Grishwar Mishraji, Professor C.R. Droliaji, Professor Umesh, and Dancy Professor T. Murray Mutt. I welcome all of you to the center. Its reach should reach the last one. That is very important. Because if we are able to improve your personality and how you come across the situation, solve the problem, that is really depends upon the individual personality, and that is where I think the psychology will be playing a role. And having such a thing from the school level will make the person different, and once you have the different personality in terms of their articulation and so on, then you will realize that we have the better human beings. And it is very important to have, I would say, the positivity in the mind. If you just look at, if you become at the very instant become positive in the sense that you have to really solve this problem, then you can really do it. And if the others are also understanding that yes, this is a solution, so we have to accept it, right? Then there will be many problems which will just immediately be resolved, and we will not be having the conflict. And so that is where I see it is very important to have the people's mind, the positive perspective. And I hope that this international conference will make some impact to have this kind of subject in, especially in the kind of the school where the schools where children are not only to just to see that they are to understand the thing, they are not only to just to memorize the thing, they are not only to see that they get the knowledge, but they also become wiser, and so that they can be lifelong learners. So such a kind of thing will be affecting over not only the school children, but obviously we will be making it affect to the higher education always. And with these words, I once again thanks all the participants and welcome them, and also thank my colleagues of the psychology department and all others who have contributed to organizing this event, and I wish you all the success for this conference. Thank you very much. Jai Hind, Jai Hind.
very much, sir, for motivating us with your valuable words. Now I would like to call on stage Professor T. Mangleshwaran, Vice Chancellor, Vayuniya University, Sri Lanka, for the inaugural address. Please welcome, sir, with a huge round of applause.
I would request Professor Yadav to please welcome sir first.
Psychology is relevant, it is an application to repair some of the fallout of unsustainable development. Example, disaster relief, recently also the disaster Turkey and psychological resilience building in the wake of natural disaster brought about by man-made climate change. At presently the climate change, resilience or the climate change, that is also very important. It affects the whole world through the climate change. The conflict reduction through non-violent communication, trauma intervention, peace building in the wake of conflict between the ethnic groups over extraction of resources. Another significant way, psychology can be relevant as an indicator of unsustainable development. Health is at the center of sustainable development, and a society is unsustainable if its economic and social system and institutions are compromising mental as well as physical health. Decrease in well-being, such as rising rates of stress, related disorders, depression and suicide, chronic insomnia and attention of deficits and short-term memory problems all point to unhealthy and the long-term unsustainable aspect of the environment, especially for youth. Dear ladies and gentlemen, the concept of well-being was first discussed by the Bhutan Gross National Happiness Initiative, referred to as subjective well-being as a central sustainable development. Especially the study pointed out that social and economic pillars of sustainable development, the social and economic environment we grow up in the influence our well-being. Using psychology as an indicator reveals aspects developed society that are unsustainable in the long run, suggest what pathways developing countries need to avoid when attempting to build societies based on human and health well-being. The keynote speaker, a senior policy advisor at the White House, spoke about how behavioral science is being applied to improve development strategies around the world, and how the team at the White House is using to strengthen the government policy making and improve the efficiency of implementation. The research shows how its application can have a ripple effect where small changes in policy design based on the behavioral science principles can lead to the large outcomes for sustainable development. The panel that followed hosted a discussion among the psychologists and UN delegates of how psychological research regarding climate change and human resource development can influence current open working group process. Psychology is an evidence-based source of science that has very broad scope since it has much to contribute in many areas. It's time it was passed into service. This is called to recognize the value of psychology, not just a means to heal the individual, but also to help the build sustainable societies and a sustainable future. Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, I have seen and noticed that international expert, specialists, academic researchers here address the link between the psychology and sustainable development goals. We hope that their deliberation will yield constructive recommendation which can be implemented immediately without any delay. This Sustainable Development Goals and Plan, Strategic Plan 2030, that means we have about 7 years to achieve that Sustainable Development Goal. I wish you all for a successful and enlightening this conference. Finally, may I thank the organizing committee of APSPA for inviting me to deliver the inaugural address of this conference, and I like to express my gratitude Professor Panch Ramalingam, President APSPA, for all valuable support in having me for this conference. Finally, I want to tell that we are happy to host this conference in our university in 2024. At this juncture, I welcome you all visit our country and actively participate and present the paper. In our country, the psychology also in the school level and university level, there are research. I feel no implementation. That is why this type of conference very useful to practice or disseminate the knowledge to the practitioners. The school level, they are not practicing psychology. That is why in our country, that especially the education system is a competitive exam. Especially students are following the program from kindergarten to +2 for competitive exam. Cream of the cream only get the university admission, only the government universities. That is why they are working hard only for get through the exam highest marks maybe. After that, even recently, last week also, one medical student suicide, from merit student suicide, and there are medical students, engineering students suicide because they can't manage, because they only followed the program and got the highest marks for merit for entering the university. That's why I think it's a very useful conference. Then your experience and knowledge you are sharing with our university, our country will be very useful. Once again, thank you for inviting me as a inaugural address.
Thank you, sir. Now I will request Professor Pramod Kumar to please come on the stage and welcome Professor Sunil Kumar, sir, Registrar, Central University of Haryana. Thank you, sir. Now I would like to invite Professor Sunil Kumar, Registrar, Central University of Haryana, for the special address for the conference. Thank you, sir.
Honorable Vice Chancellor sir, and all the esteemed dignitaries sitting on the dais, delegates, students, and the organizer of this conference. It is a matter of proud privilege for me that I have been given this great opportunity to be part of this auspicious occasion. I can only say that this conference being organized by the Department of Psychology of our university will have far-sighted implications for the betterment of the whole society. And the experts in the field of psychology who are over here to discuss and deliberate the matter threadbare will certainly contribute 24. I am pretty sure that the researchers who have joined this conference by coming from far-flung area will certainly be benefited by the discussions and by the contribution being made by the experts in particular fields. I, on my personal behalf, congratulate the entire psychology department for taking this great initiative, and I am sure that the entire conference will have positive impact and will leave no stone unturned. And I am quite hopeful that the researchers who are here to present their paper will certainly provide very concrete suggestions for bringing improvement in the psychology field. So with this, again, I congratulate each one of you for taking the wise initiative and wish a great success. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Thank you very much, sir, for motivating us. Now I would like to call Professor C.R. Darulia, Professor of Psychology, Kurukshetra University. Please, sir, come on the stage. And for welcoming him, I want to welcome Dinesh Chahal, sir. Please, Professor Dinesh Chahal, sir, please welcome on stage.
Dr. Ranveer ji from Sanskrit.
I would like to call Professor Ranveer Singh, sir, on stage for welcoming C.R. Darulia, sir.
Good morning to all. Professor Panch Ramalingam, other dignitaries on the dais, of the dais, and new behavioral scientists. I have chosen a topic on sustainable development and the role of psychology in general. After the introduction of Sustainable Development Goals in 2015 by UN, we have seen revolution in the thinking about sustainable development. What do we really mean? Now we notice during past 1 decade or so, there is shift in the paradigm. And conceptualization of sustainable development is being viewed slightly different as compared to earlier notion. From seeing it mainly as economic growth to conceptualizing it is healthy, human-centered and sustainable development is at the focus. As a result, the notion of sustainable development is conceptualized as 3 overlapping dimensions, particularly environmental, economical, and social sustainability, with human welfare and well-being at the core. And this is the most important element we psychologists need to focus, and it comes as a challenge for behavioral scientists. This new conceptualization of development is possibly the most important thing happening right now globally, that will affect the future of a long time to come, and psychology has an important and integral role to play in this process. How psychology can contribute to sustainability development related to other topics is very important for the time to come. One way in which psychology is relevant is it is applicable to repair some of the fallout of unsustainable development taking place in our society, like disaster relief and psychological resilience building in the wake of natural disasters brought about by man-made climate change. We are altering our natural resources to our petty goals and interests. Another significant way psychology can be relevant is as an indicator of unsustainable development. We need to differentiate what are the psychological factors responsible for unsustainable development and why people are keeping it. Why people are contributing to unsustainable development instead of sustainable development, and we have to consider various psychological dimensions through our study, through our research, and this is a challenge for us to take up these issues in future research. Health is at the center of sustainable development, and a society is unsustainable if the economic and social systems and institutions are compromising mental as well as physical health. Therefore, there is no possibility of sustainable development in the absence of mental and physical health. A decrease in well-being, such as rising rate of stress, related disorders, depression, chronic insomnia, hypertension, diabetes, are creating a lot of problems. We need to handle them. All kind of unhealthy and in the long term unsustainable aspects of the environment are of great importance, particularly for youth. So there is overwhelming evidence that global development and the lifestyles of many people in almost all the countries are not sustainable. We are consuming more than required for our livelihood. Research reports from many countries may suffice to demonstrate that we must act today to solve environmental, social and economic problems created by our own behavior and lifestyle. So this is the aspect where we psychologists need to focus. A certain amount of economic growth is necessary to facilitate a comfortable lifestyle, and a certain amount of material consumption is unavoidable for living beings to survive and to thrive their goals. But to conclude that every increase in consumption is better seems to be faulty and unhealthy, that contributes to unsustainable development. If we try to focus on issues why development remains unsustainable and we are not contributing to sustainability, there are certain psychology-based factors, and the first question that comes into my mind: why do people maintain non-sustainable behavior in spite of evidence of the harmful consequences of it? The specific challenge to behavioral scientists is to explore how non-sustainable as well as sustainable behavior results from individuals' cognitive, emotional and motivational processes. So these aspects of our personal societal behavior need to be exploited for policy making and taking decisions so that we can convert our society into sustainable goals. Then I have firm belief in the role of individual differences, because nature has not made any two people alike. Even identical twins are bound to be different in their behavioral outcomes, even when they are sharing 100% of genes. So individual differences in our potentialities, individual differences in attitude, individual differences in our consumption behavior plays very important role, and we need to take care of that. Now the question arises, why different people resort to different type of strategies and activities. Some of us are very successful in sustaining development and some are not. Many studies have been conducted where people resort to kind of strategies where they control overconsumption, while other contemporary people are failing in it. So these are the factors we need to look into, how we could proceed for sustainability and sustainable development through psychological intervention. Many studies have explored that which try to describe that sustainability goals, or who even engage in sustainability behavior, demonstrate convincingly that our human nature enables us in principle to live sustainability. Despite this fact, why we resort to such type of behavior which are self-defeating. So these could be the core areas for we people to focus and to understand. The second purpose of introducing the differential perspective to sustainable development is for the search of specific conditions, both inside and outside individuals. As a person, owing to our individual differences and at societal level, with this knowledge, we can be much more efficient in our efforts aimed at sustainable development. Another point of our concern may be that, as many experts have argued, that sustainable development will not be possible without thorough analysis and revision of the gender dimension of sustainable development. We have to go together, men and women, because contribution is believed to be equal, and these days we see that women are contributing in every domain even better than men. You see sports in Haryana, most of the medals are being backed by women sports persons. So this way we need to understand this reality, and now with time it is automatically coming in without any, say, effort on the parts of governance or society. Recent research, however, shows that the impact of emotions may be stronger than the cognition in explaining sustainable as well as unsustainable behavior. That why people of a different kind of emotional tone are adopting a particular kind of behavior style. And many times we believe that attitude may matter, but many researches have clearly indicated that there is lack of relation between or lack of any kind of, you can say, predictability on the part of attitude and its relation with final outcome as behavior. Another question to ponder is what enables some people to live their life in accordance with the vision of sustainability but not others. Again, this is a matter of psychological study and we need to exploit the results of such studies which are coming. The major result of a study is that a sense of immediate awareness is eminently important for the development of sustainable lifestyle. So, after studying this type of behavior, we can go for some intervention. The cultivation of emotional competencies like empathy, authenticity, etc., which is a consequence of the ways of life such people seem to be an individual as well as social, going for social gains. Then we see that there are certain cultural differences regarding associative behavior with sustainable development. So, cultural aspects of different national samples have been studied, and it has been seen that certain cultures are compatible with sustainable development and some are not. So again, we need to focus why it is so. What are the cultural psychological factors responsible for this kind of differentiation? So many studies on South Africa have clearly indicated that they have upper hand in certain areas and they are going very close to almighty nature as compared to other Western countries. So this way, findings of a study from the Federal University of Preva suggest independent and interdependent self-concept as a crucial individual variable correlating with sustainability indicators at the national level. So these inputs or say authentic data are coming in which may help us in taking certain decisions about role of psychology and whatever intervention we could bring in. The conclusion from a meta-analysis is straightforward. That is excessive usage of material or consumable items in a particular kind of cultural setup is creating problem. For example, we see in most of the industrialized countries like US or other countries, we see that people are going for high level of consumption and they are consuming resources which are to be preserved for future nations. They are being exhausted in advance. And two issues have been studied in many setups, that over-consumption and overpopulation. Many studies have come in from leading psychologists which have indicated that psychological intervention can help us in dealing with such problems. Many of us might be aware that in one interesting study, it was established that psychological variables like control belief, environmental attitude, and well-being play important role in fostering sustainable development in this direction. I am reminded of one study in my department that attribution style and need for achievement was directly associated with progress of farmers in Haryana. There was a time when government implemented a scheme to have Pakka Nala for irrigation. and they provided specially designed metal sheets to go for better irrigation. And after some time, say 6 months or 1 year, it was found that most of the bricks installed in these nalas were taken by farmers themselves. And metal sheets were stolen by neighbor farmers without knowing the consequences that this type of strategy is for their betterment. So study revealed that they were having external attribution time, that is, it is not our responsibility to take care of these things, rather it is government responsibility. Particularly those who were lower in need for achievement, they resorted to this type of self-destructive behavior more as compared to those who are having internal attitude style and high need for achievement. Findings further suggest that special attention be given to the cognitive and motivational elements of an organized consumer initiative to a successful sustainability. So, at organization level, we should take care of this type of behaviors like cognitive processes, motivational processes. Studies in general conclude that psychological issues must be considered and that social participation can improve the likelihood of achieving sustainable development at the community level. And I am very optimistic that many psychological strategies which have been indicated by various researchers, they have surfaced in many studies, can lead to better situation, better condition for the society as well as at individual level to improve sustainability of development, maybe in education, maybe at societal level, maybe in conditions of given environment. So therefore, I wish that delegates presenting their researches, their papers should focus on this type of variable so that we can explore the role of psychology in sustainability and sustainable development. So thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your insightful directions. Yes, sir, please.
I think there is a question.
Yeah, sir. We'll have it after the all the speeches are over. Before what I'm talking.
All the
Please.
speeches.
Yeah, please. It will disturb the recording. Yeah, you can write down and give it to them, sir. Let him answer before what I'm talking.
Thank you, sir. So, for the aspiration and encouragement of researcher, presented conference intend to present the Best Paper Award 2023. In the light, I would like to invite 10th Street Professor T. Karimutu, Chairperson, SS Malaysia, to confer the Best Paper Award to Mr. Anthony Fernandez, Pune, and Dr. N. Sudha, Principal, Sai Ram Vidyalaya, Puducherry. I would also like to invite Professor Rajiv Kumar Singh and Professor Sandesh Kumar Singh in order to welcome Professor Ten Sri Naimutu.
Let him take it. They are the Malaysian counterpart, base for this organization. Please come up. Anand, please come. Now bring the certificate now. Yes. Continue करना.
Congratulations.
Where is your poster? Oh, yeah, please, please. See, and then. She has brought out a poster as well as the cards to distribute to the delegates. That is, she will do it during a session. Now only the poster she will release.
Thank you so much.
This is a way to motivate the children in the school. Yeah.
Sir, I would just like to hand this also.
Yeah, please.
No, not for that. It's not for that.
Yeah, please. Come this way. No, you can go to the yes. Okay.
Good morning. We are very happy to be here at the Asia Pacific School Psychology Association International Conference on Sustainable Development Goals with special reference to school psychology in the Asia Pacific region. We would like to congratulate the organizers, especially Haryana University, Central University of Haryana, Department of Psychology, for taking the trouble to organize such an international important conference.
And I would also like to congratulate the indomitable, the indefatigable Professor Panch Ramalingam for his untiring efforts in organizing conferences and seminars and talks on school psychology. He was the one who introduced school psychology to Malaysia. We did not know, of course, we know psychology, we know social psychology and clinical psychology and all the branches of psychology. But school psychology has not been taught or introduced in Malaysia till Professor Panch, through one of our members of the Social Strategic Foundation, of which I am the chairman, contacted, that's Mr. Guna, contacted Mr. Professor Ramalingam, and then they came into Malaysia. And the introduction of the discipline or the concept of social psychology happened with a seminar of 524 Tamil school headmasters and teachers who teach Tamil children. And Tamil children, I don't know, the educational structure in Malaysia is this. That is, there are 4 language streams, and then only in the secondary level there is a national stream. So they all, like Tamil children coming from mostly they are from poor backgrounds. And therefore we have given them the skills and knowledge not to solve the problems, but to be aware, to understand that these kids have got problems, learning problems. We have LDs, series of seminars started in 2016, and then throughout we have had conferences, TOT, that is teachers of trainers, teaching the teacher is a session for trainers. We also have counseling teachers from schools to be aware of the discipline called social psychology. We have had focus on very specific topics. They are such as life skills. We had seminars on life skills, autism, dyslexia, art therapy, sand therapy, memory skills, music therapy, mental health, etc. To these teachers as well as headmasters. Parent-teacher associations we have had, colloquiums, and one important seminar that we had was on gangsterism, criminology.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Ma'am, I would like to request, please share your views.
Immediately?
नहीं नहीं
You know, it's
सर का
very
तो
good.
लास्ट होगा
Sir का तो last होगा. Give me a list of the names, please. With your
दो
permission.
तीन ये वो काट देते हैं
Sir, with your permission. ये मुझे एक list दो.
एक प्रोफेसर रामलिंगम।
Thank you. The chair of the session, Professor Panch Ramalingam, President APSPA and APSPA, and from UGC HRDC Pondicherry University, our Honorable Vice Chancellor in absentia, because at the present she is not there, but surely he is here with us, Professor Jankeshwar Kumarji, Professor T. Mangaleshwaran, Vice Chancellor, Vayunia University, Sri Lanka. Welcome to India and welcome to the university. Then Shri Professor T. Marimuthu, Chairman SS in Malaysia. Professor C. R. Darulia, Professor of Psychology, Kurukshetra University. The keynote addressee today and our Honorable former Vice Chancellor, Professor Girishwar Mishra ji. He was former Vice Chancellor, Mahatma Gandhi Antarashtriya Hindi Vishwavidyalaya, and of course a name in psychology. Our own Registrar, Professor Sunil Kumar, I think he was here in the morning. Our organizers, Professor Vishwanand Yadav, Professor Payal Chandel, and all the colleagues from the department. It's your mistake, you have not given me the names.
Pradeep Kumar, his name is there.
Dr. Pradeep Kumar, the invited guests, delegates, scholars, researchers, members of the association, are all students, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure for me to stand here for this international conference. An international conference is usually a great achievement of any university. And this is a very, very peculiar time because our NAC visit is going on the other side, finalizing the report, and this conference is taking place. I can understand how much pressure there must be on the organizers at the moment. We tried, really, we tried to persuade them, postpone this. But they said, no ma'am, we began almost more than 6 months earlier, and people have booked tickets. People have already prepared their schedules, and it will be very difficult for us. I spoke to the NAC team members and they said, no ma'am, it's good. You must carry on with such academic exercises. So thank you for adding another feather in the cap of the Central University of Haryana. It's a pleasure for me also, personally and on behalf of the university, to welcome you all. I'm sure you've taken troubles. I can see faces which I recognize, and I can see faces which I think I will remember after this. But it's a real pleasure to have you all at this pious land of Haryana, I can say. It's very dry. It's very difficult, it's quite backward also, but your coming here and the placement of the university here will surely make it much more fertile, if not in crops, in ideas especially. Your discipline is important. Psychology is important because we are landing in a world which they say is a VUCA world. I don't agree with that terminology much. Because I think world has always been VUCA. It was never settled. But it's a world which is more and more difficult. We are having lots of comforts. We are having lots of luxuries. We are having good income. We are having very nice lifestyles. But there is something somewhere which is missing. Maybe the happiness goes far away. Maybe the satisfaction and contentment which human beings really run for is not there. And maybe what we desire in life and mind my words, desire. It's not what we want, what we need, what we desire in life, at times is missing. And that puts stress on us. Additional stress is the expectations of our parents, our teachers, our peer group. All of them have so many expectations that it's difficult to meet them. And then it becomes even more stressful. So much stressful that now I have gone to conferences where they are just debating and deliberating. Why are we becoming so aggressive? Why are we becoming so much, stressed? And why are we becoming so much sad in happiness also? And it's a contradiction in terms. So this conference has a very, very important mandate and very, very important theme to deliberate. Professor Yadav, Dr. Pradeep Kumar, Professor Chandel, I think all of had the education system and the social system in mind. Can we really go back in time? Because at times, whatever was said in Hindi literature, and maybe in English literature also, in Sanskrit literature also, where we say that the more we know, the more discontented we are. The less we know, the more contented and happy we are. ये कबीर का है कि किसका है डॉक्टर साहब? सबसे बड़े वे मूर्ख जिन्हें ना व्यापे जगत गति, जिन्हें ना व्यापे जगत। ये कहा जाता है कि जो बिल्कुल ही मूर्ख हैं, मानते हैं हम मूर्ख, हो सकता है वो मूर्ख ना हो, लेकिन वो अच्छे मूर्ख हैं जिन्हें कुछ समझ ही नहीं आता, तो वो प्रसन्न रहते हैं। हमें जितना समझ आता है हम उतना ही और जानने की कोशिश करते हैं, और उसमें हम और ज्यादा संतुष्ट भी होते हैं, क्योंकि ज्ञान तो अनंतिंग है, अनंत है, ये ज्ञान की पिपासा भी अनंत है, और उसमें हम लोग संतुष्ट भी होते हैं। लेकिन जब वो संतोष हमारे आसपास फैलने लगता है, तब वो समाज के लिए और राष्ट्र के लिए और विश्व के लिए कठिनाई बन जाता है। So I think we need more clinical psychologists, we need more trained psychologists who can counsel. Everywhere we go in the institutions, we say whether you have mentors, whether you have a psychologist, whether you have a counselor, why do we need them? I think you must deliberate on this question also. Why Bhutan is happy without having any wherewithal? People go there and they find they don't produce much. They don't produce anything. Rather, it comes from this state or that state, neighboring states. But they are happy. We produce so much. We try to produce even more. USA has done enough. At time there was a superpower. I won't say it's a superpower now because they are contending superpowers. But they were the most discontented society after some time. So much that the children will have guns in their bags and they become violent also, which is happening in our schools. I think we were bothered about ragging earlier in UGC. Professor Mishra will hear me out. I headed that committee also. But we are equally bothered about bullying in schools, which is another name of ragging or another name of same aggressive behavior. So why this behavior is taking place? I think it's a question of research. And not merely because research is not for the sake of research. Research is usually responsible research to find solutions for the ills of the society or ills of humanity or problems before the entire global human beings. And therefore, your research becomes even more meaningful because it has to take care of the entire well-being of the humanity. You're talking about SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals, and sustainable and development are the two words which earlier didn't go together because you sustain or you develop. But with time we have realized that development without sustainability does not have much content or context, and sustainability also without development may not mean much. So these goals which were millennium development earlier, so now have become sustainable development because sustaining the development and sustaining the human beings and sustaining the humanity in the global context is important. Do remember that these goals are put before us. A part of the world developed without any responsibility. And the developed world in fact developed without much responsibility about the development of the less fortunate or whom they exploited. Now they want us to develop with sustainability or responsibility. Not that we are saying no to them, but I
need to emphasize all the whole. So it is within that perspective that knowledge tradition has grown, and we did have a very strong tradition of learning. The evidence is there in terms of the texts which are available, and they are numerous, and they cover almost all areas of knowledge. And there is empirical evidence also if you want to see what are the contributions of that. At least two things we remember: yoga and Ayurveda. So holistic development is crucial. In fact, the word development was not very important. It is the contribution of modernity that we have decided to develop. And development simply means imitating what is happening in the so-called developed world. So you want to become what is happening in the Western world. What is happening in Euro-American context becomes the goal, and you are always lagging behind and you are pursuing that. I want to bring this context before you. I would like to submit to you to consider that one correction was made that development is not enough. You have to have sustainable development. And if you look at the Sustainable Development Report of 2022 published by United Nations, that indicates that has to be revised. They are thinking about what they can achieve up to 2030. And there they are saying that a lot of problems have emerged because of epidemic. And they have to revise everything, the expectations that we will be able to do this and get there and achieve all that, that has to be revised. It's not possible. The number of students who are out of school has increased. So, access has become a problem. We have alternatives. We have tried to create remote learning procedures through distance learning and online courses, and all kinds of mechanisms have been introduced to cover that gap. But that is not enough. That cannot replace the human interaction which is necessary to build character, to bring in virtues, and to have civil society. That has become a very critical word in current discourse. Emphasis on civil society. If you want to achieve all that, you need to think about education. You must create a context where there is access. At the same time, it should be inclusive. And this inclusion requires to attend to many things. Inclusion in terms of the social structure, in terms of knowledge traditions, in terms of relating to environment. You need to elaborate it. And third is diversity. We have to attend to the diversity which is present. We have to respect that. If you think that inclusion, diversity and equity are important, we need to think about what is happening in India and other parts of the world. It is very obvious that the school system that we have inherited in many countries has its roots in the colonial development. When British came to India, they found that we had a very strong education system. And it is not our writing. It is the report written by many of them in early 18th century, and you know, if you look at the early reports, and when they left, India remained, you know, at a high level of illiteracy. That was the contribution. Because the system of education which created was such that everything was new. I think we have the memory of Macaulay's report, which says that entire learning available in India is nothing more than just a shelf of, you know, primary school students' books. That's all. So you created a distance, you created a situation to unlearn what you had, what was accessible to you. So you are now deprived. We laugh about Upanishads, we think that they are irrelevant. We hardly try to understand what is available. The moral values and the issues which are there, they reflect what is the contribution of the kind of tradition that has grown under the impact of colonial spirit. They did not want to increase or enhance knowledge or creativity. Their goal was just to train people to help them in their administration. And that system has continued not only in India, but most of the colonized countries. And that has created a big challenge. Fortunately, the new education policy in India has declared that it will be India-centric. It will address our concerns. It will try to relate the linguistic background which we have. You learn in your language quickly. You are able to absorb and be creative in that linguistic context, in your cultural context. So, if we want to make the school system adequate in terms of promoting human values, you need to take recourse to the cultural context. And you should also try to relate it to the linguistic context, particularly which is available. So mother tongue should be the mode of education, at least at younger age level. It's unfortunate that we have developed a preference for a language which is not used in the home, and the child has to bear that burden, making learning more complex. The new education policy has tried to understand these issues and has provisions to create a school context which is more adequate in the sense that it provides opportunity for creativity. I am not going to summarize what is given in the new education policy, but I will definitely ask you to take your time and must see why it has some value for us. School psychology is something which needs some elaboration. School psychology is still undeveloped in our country. School psychology is a kind of amalgamation of community psychology, educational psychology, developmental psychology, and also contributions from, health-related issues and mental health studies. So it brings in input from different areas. It has nothing which is its core, you can say, and you want to do that. That's the problem. So it requires input from different areas, and then that has to be contextualized. It has close relationship with management of school, It is close relationship with behavioral problems which children have. So you have special education, you have many other provisions. We need to provide counseling to the students who need. I don't think we have enough time to elaborate that issue, but all of us know that how coaching has become an important component in our educational system. That tells that formal education is not enough, it is not sufficient, it does not prepare him to go to the next class. For that also you go for coaching. It's totally irrelevant. You need to look at what are those challenges. So from BA you want to go to MA, then you have to have a coaching, you have to have coaching for almost all kinds of examinations. That has become the standard procedure. क्या बच्चा कर रहा है, कोचिंग कर रहा है. So formal education system has certain problems, and I think the list is very long. I think school psychologists need to attend to that. The current thinking is, and the new education policy which has been introduced in India talks about covering the age group from 3 years onward. So we have a system called Anganwadi. So you need to take that also into account. At the same time, we have tried to create a system which is flexible, and we hope that with our efforts it will be possible to provide many opportunities, many kinds of possibilities to express your ability or talent. And a student of science can also study literature. That possibility is being created. If you want to leave, you can go and then you can join after some time, there is no problem. So many such changes are being introduced. There are some problems because it is new to us, but I hope they will be sorted out, and there is a possibility that the kind of system which is being thought about is going to contribute to bring the quality, which is the fourth goal, quality education, which brings in virtuous development which relates to society. Friends, there is a lot of development in the domain called positive psychology, which talks about, bringing in humility, forgiveness, emotional growth, and there are many other aspects which have been talked about. Now emotional intelligence has become something which has been talked about a lot. So how to create an environment in the school which provides opportunity for flourishing. Students must flourish, and that requires provision in terms of, avenues to express creativity, to engage in various ways. I hope the colleagues who are participating in this conference will think about this aspect, that how school may be made more engaging, a place where children enjoy, students want to learn, and that should be the climate कि आपके पैर खुद ब खुद मूव करते हैं कि आप क्लास में जाके बैठो. Today what is happening? It's bad in taste, but the classes are not very attractive. Many students say, what is point in sitting in the class? We don't learn anything. It is already given. And another challenge which has come before us is through that internet, which has provided you a lot of information, and continuously it is being, providing a kind of a situation which can be called bespoke explosion, information explosion. How to incorporate that and how to remain updated. It has become a real challenge. So, how to utilize that technology is another problem for school psychologists. How it can be utilized properly, because it is going to distract. Already, addiction with the use of internet has become a challenge for parents, for teachers, and it is harming creativity. It was very unfortunate that during the epidemic period, we had to go to the situation where almost all classes are being run through internet. Online classes are going on, and I have learned from many colleagues today or these days that now those students who have come after 2 years to class, they are not interested in class. Their attention span is low. It has become a real challenge. It's a concern for school psychology and educational psychology, how to bring them back. So the learning style is being affected. So school psychology is not something which is fixed. It has to relate to the growing context. The reality that we are going to face in our classrooms is going to change with intervention of all these technological changes. अभी तो आगे है ना वो क्वेश्चन पूछो जवाब वो दे देगा, चैट करिए आप, GPT. So all that is going to create a problem. I am sure that human creativity will address those problems and will find some kind of concern. Finally, we have been sitting here for a long time, so I will not take more time. But finally, I would like to mention, I would like to re-emphasize the point which perhaps Professor Darodia brought before us, that what we mean by sustainability. And Professor Yadav also talked about that. Sushma ji mentioned about, ye mera nahi hai. This is very important. Idam na mama. Now, if Ishavasya Upanishad says that everything which is present is the property of God. God lives everywhere. Ishavasya midam sarvam yat kinchit jagatyam jagat. So, आप अपने मकान के रजिस्ट्री तो झूठ मूठ में करा रहे हो तो तुम्हारा है ही नहीं. It doesn't belong to you. So, तेल त्यक्तेल भूमि था मागधा कस्य सिद्धम. Don't take anybody's property. और आप तो भगवान की प्रॉपर्टी ले रहे हो. तेल त्यक्ते उसका प्रसाद मान करके आप लेकर खाओ जितनी जरूरत है. Now this is very crucial. जितनी जरूरत है उतना खाओ तो. You need to put limits on that. All of us are now familiar with the fact that this planet Earth has not enough for everybody's aspirations and desires, क्योंकि उसका तो कोई हिंदी ही नहीं है. There is no limit to desires, but there is limit to everything. Everything which is tangible has a limit. You have to live with that. And we forget that. We think that it is unlimited. This illusion is going to create problems. Already it is creating problems. And one of the consequences that we find is the conflict. Aspirations are related to conflict and disturbance. low productivity, all the issues are related to that. It may appear a philosophical question, but it's a real question. How we are going to arrange our life conditions. At least we have one person who talked about it, Mahatma Gandhi, who said, Satya, Ahimsa, Asteya, Aparigra, truthfulness, non-violence, Aparigra, keeping only that much which you require. All of us have clothes which we don't need. We have so many that every day we have to spend about 30 minutes while choosing. Ladies, क्षमा करेंगी, वो शायद 1 घंटा लगाती होंगी कि आज कौन सा कपड़ा पहने.
अब तो आप जितना ही लगाते हैं.
So, choice has become a problem. If you have so many things, that becomes a problem. And there are people who don't have. Who will answer this question? So, perhaps during education, we need to provide this kind of input, this kind of learning atmosphere where the broader reality is understood. And such opportunities may help to create a vision which is holistic. Again, I would like to cite Gandhiji and his basic approach to learning and education, where he said कि दिल का भी काम हो, हाथ का भी काम हो, दिमाग का भी काम हो. You are not only an intellectual person, you should also learn skills, and you should also have empathy. दूसरों के दुख को भी आप जानिए, बुद्धि का भी विकास करिए, और उसी के साथ आप में कौशल भी हो कि आप तरह तरह के काम कर सकें. And in fact, he started a school also, and there are many such schools in India which are not, proper schools in the way we have formal system. I recently came across a school in Jaipur, a forest school, and in that forest school there is no building. The students come and stay in that forest below a tree, and they learn many good things. And it has become so popular that many parents have come nearby and they are staying there to provide learning experience in the school to the child. And there are many other experiments which are going on. We need to think about making education really what is represented in the idea sa vidya ya vimukta, that which liberates, which provides you opportunities to grow, to be creative, to flourish. The job of school psychology should be like that. I can talk many more things, but I will stop here, and I thank the organizers for providing me opportunity to share some ideas about school psychology and contemporary scenario and how we can go towards the goal of sustainable development. Thank you very much. Namaskar.
Thank you very much, sir. Friends, Professor Grishwar Mishra has established a strong foundation for the Indian psychology. Not only today or yesterday, 20 years back. 2002, he has done it in Puducherry, inviting scholars from all over the country. He established a strong foundation, still it is continuing. The same way, 2007, involving NCERT, he thought of introducing common curriculum for the school education. He invited 70 scholars all over the country, experienced, discussed, but it was not able to move up further. Now he has given some positive notes how we can take it up further. What are all the dimensions we have to add? Definitely, sir, we will include and come out in the future activities. We are thanking on behalf of the Asia Pacific School Psychology Association for your valuable keynote address. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Today our dream came true for all of us. You are a lighthouse and source of inspiration for every psychology learner. Now I would like to invite faculty, Department of Psychology, for giving token of thanks to Professor Girishwar Mishra. For this, please welcome respected HOD Ma'am, Professor Payal Kanwar Chandel, Professor B.N. Yadav Sir, Dr. Pradeep Kumar Sir, Dr. Ravi Pandey Sir, Dr. Vishnu Kucheria Sir, Dr. Ritu Sharma Ma'am, Dr. Akshay Varan, Dr. Sneha Ma'am.
And also, there will be 2 book release which will be done by respected Pro Vice Chancellor Ma'am and Professor Girishwar Mishra Sir.
May I request Dr. Rajendran to come out to the dais? This book is Indo-Japanese project done by Ishika Michikova. Please, Dr. Rajendran. Mr. Ganeshan, come out to the dais. No, he is a receiver. He is the Secretary, Indian School Psychology Association. The author is in Japan. Author is from Christ University, Handbook of School Psychology. Mr. Ganesh from Malaysian School Psychology Association is the secretary. Yeah, from Malaysia. Quick. It is there. Recorded version is there.
We'll proceed with the vote of thanks. We'll proceed with the token of thanks first, followed by vote of thanks. Professor B.N. Yadav, to please give the token of thanks to, and Payal ma'am to please give vote of thanks, token of thanks to Professor Mishra sir.
Ramalingam sir. Punch sir, please. Stand up.
Please, all the delegates to come to the dais. We'll take a one group photo. Please, quickly.
Group photo.
Let her continue. Yeah, let her continue. Please quickly come. We have to
Now
serve the
I
time. Ma'am, please proceed for the water.
Now I would like to call Professor Payal Kawar Chande for vote of thanks. Please welcome ma'am with a huge round of applause.
Thank you, Manju. Very good afternoon, everyone. Bhook lagi hai hame.
All the delegates to come to the
So, what we are doing is we are utilizing time. By the time everybody collects for the photograph, we'll be done with the vote of thanks. So yes, it is a difficult task, but still. Conferences provide us a platform, not only to discuss the issues and challenges, but to propose, to seek for solutions of the problems that are existing. Teaching the profession, that's the mother, that's the parent of all other professions, and thus this profession is important than any other profession. Throughout the life, we remain students. The teachers, all of us, we still are students, and at the same time, we are responsible for teaching a lot of other students. Education is not merely the learning and reproducing of facts in examinations, but it is inculcation of values for lifetime. And that lasts for the entire life, and this is what we are going to look forward to in this conference as to how can we inculcate values into our students. I'm grateful to our Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, the guiding force behind all we can think and aspire for, our PVC ma'am, who is the cool breeze of blessings for all of us, Honorable Registrar, sir, who is the guiding force throughout the process. Professor Mishra, Professor Panchramalingam, Professor Marimuthu, Professor Mangaleshwaran, they have set our expectations from the conference really, very high. Sir, we thank you for sparing time and coming here and sharing your thoughts. I thank our very own Professor Darolia, who is there amongst us, and he is not here like for the first time, but he is a regular visitor here. So, Sir has been blessing us for many times. I thank the convener of the conference, Professor V.N. Yadav. Despite all odds, Sir has managed this conference. All thanks to you, sir. No conference or no event can be the result of efforts of a single man. So yes, it is a team work. I thank all the organizing secretaries, Dr. Pradeep Kumar, Dr. Vishnu, Dr. Ravi, and Dr. Ritu for their tireless efforts throughout days and nights. I thank the scholars and the students who've been working on the ground for us. They
They did not even look at their watches. They did not show us the tired faces. They were the force that kept us moving. So thank you, dear students. A big clap for yourself. Louder. I thank the IT department of the university that has provided us the technical support. The journalism department that has arranged for all the media facilities for us. And last but can never be the least, I thank all the participants from nationwide and international who have taken time and are here, have joined us. And as VC sir has said, because simultaneously we are having many things going on, so if we miss out on something by mistake, please bear with us. Thank you all for being here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Now I would like to request everyone to stand at their places for national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उज्जल जलधि तरंगा तब शुभ नामे जाने तब शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तब जय गाथा जय गण मंगल दायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Please have your seat. So I have an important information for everyone that now we will be having lunch break, and after lunch break we will be having our technical sessions in academic block 3. The schedule has been shared by Dr. Pradeep Kumar in your APSPA group. You can have a look on that. And after lunch break, bus will take you to the academic block 3, and there we